that you've learned the basics of Poor Wayfaring Stranger, or the piece that you're preparing, now it's time to really dive into this piece and figure out exactly how you should approach it. So if you look at the very beginning of the score, take your score out and look at it along with me, the very first system, you only have 3 measures of rest, basically 9 beats of rest before you have to start singing. It's important then to rest your body and make sure you're centered with your body in a good position, having a not posture, but alignment, where your feet are equidistant, one foot slightly front than the other, so that you have a healthy base, because Poor Wayfaring Stranger requires a lot of forethought when it comes to breath line and breath management. Now, when you start I'm Just a Poor Wayfaring Stranger, the first thing you should do musically is figure out where you're going to breathe. Now, unlike most pieces, there's not a lot of clear-cut areas for you to take a breath. There's not a lot of rest that stand out that say, breathe here. So a good rule of thumb for any piece of music is that you should take breaths where the punctuation marks happen. But the punctuation marks need to make sense. Where you breathe will change the meaning of the text. So for instance, I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger doesn't really make sense. But maybe, I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger, a-traveling through. I took a breath right there between stranger, a-traveling through. Or maybe you can make it a little bit longer and wait till after woe, because there is a semicolon after woe, and that makes more grammatical sense. You should go through the rest of the piece and make decisions like this first. These are the most important things, because if you don't know where you're breathing and you don't have a plan, you're going to find yourself like a snowball going down a hill. You're going to get halfway through the piece and realize that your breath is left from underneath you, and you're not going to be able to perform it as best as you think that you can. Another thing that I see with Poor Wayfaring Stranger that has some issues that you need to address is how low it goes and then dips back up. You need to make sure to prepare your mouth's actual space to be able to sing higher and lower, because it changes register a lot. Sometimes you're in your chest voice, sometimes you're in your mixed voice, and sometimes you're in your head voice. Chest voice is when you use the bones of your chest to resonate, mixed voice is when you're in between, and head voice is when the bones of your head are resonating. If you do not prepare for higher notes, then you won't be ready to sing them. So for instance, if you look at the bottom of the first page, not measure 10, 11, 12, I would say around measure 12, it goes, danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going there to see my Savior. If you look at that, all of a sudden you're down below the staff, and then here you are up higher on the staff. If you don't prepare by opening your mouth wider, you won't be able to make the jump as well as you want. Another thing I see that is going to cause issues just from a vocal standpoint is knowing how loud is loud enough to make a change in singing. There's lots of dynamics in Poor Wayfaring Stranger. A good rule of thumb is to make the dynamic range within your healthy range of singing. If you can't sing that softly and have good breath support, then don't do it. Make your louds louder, your mezzo forte slightly louder than that, and then your piano will sound different enough. But you don't want to sing so softly that the song is under-supported. For example, if you look at the top of page 106 and it says, I'm just a goin' over Jordan, before that it's crescendoed to Rome. So it goes, I'm going there, no more to Rome. I'm just a goin' over Jordan. That's a difference, but it's too much of a difference. And now my singing is unsupported and no one can hear me. So maybe your other one needs to be a little bit louder. I'm going there, no more to Rome. I'm going over Jordan. Where I'm still supported, but there's a dynamic difference. The other area that I see that you're going to have the most trouble is understanding exactly how the flow of the piece should go. 3/4 meter feels different than 2/4 or 4/4 meter. Just because we're singing the piece doesn't change that should feel different, just like if you were to play in 3/4 meter. The stress needs to go towards the first beat of each measure. And the third beat should lead into that first beat to show a flow. So for instance, instead of, I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger, that's very metrically even, it needs to flow. I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger, a traveling through this world of woe. My voice has impetus. It's moving forward to that next beat, which makes it more musically interesting. Now, the last thing you need to do is you need to make a plan of how you will use this text to reach your audience. The difference between playing an instrument and singing is text. Text separates us from other forms of music. Without using your expressive face or your expressive timbre of your voice, which is how your voice sounds, you are there as a vessel of text. You have to reach the audience through text. If you repeat something over and over again, every time you say it, it should sound differently. It shouldn't sound like, I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger, and then the next time's the same. I'm just a poor wayfaring stranger. How are these strangers different? How are each time that you sing these words needing to change? You should come up with a story, a thread line to go through the entire piece of music so that you can come up with a story that engages your audience and allows them to take this journey with you. For more information on how to prepare a text of your piece or how to prepare the music itself, you can check out the links below to different worksheets that I've provided to help you prepare these texts. I hope you have found this recording helpful, and good luck on your solo.